today, so thank you, Beth. All right, I'm going to call to order the CCS Executive Committee on Wednesday, March 13th at 10 a.m. Beth, will you please call the roll?
Just going to note that it's 10:03.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Because of the cicada.
Yes, the cicada.
Roll. Austin.
Present.
Bertucci.
Present.
Dilger. Dombrowski. Dorfman.
Here.
Feelick.
Here.
And Smith.
Here.
For CCS, we have Rebecca Malinowski, Deborah Wishmeyer, and Beth Strombrenner.
Great, thank you. Does anyone have anything to add to the agenda? Okay, great. Seeing none, we'll move forward with our agenda as presented. And would anyone like to make a public comment? No public comment. Okay, item number 5 is our consent agenda. There are 4 items listed for our approval today. Does anyone wish to remove anything from the consent agenda? Okay, then I will ask for a motion to approve consent agenda items A through D.
So moved, Smith.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Beth, can you call the roll?
Austin.
Yes.
Bertucci.
Yes.
Dorfman.
Yes.
Feelick.
Yes.
And Smith.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Now we'll turn it over to Rebecca for our business.
Our first item is open positions at CCS. I'm happy to report we're down to 1 open position. Kiara Lyons started work on March 4th. So we are delighted to have her on board as our member of services associate. We have hit some roadblocks with our user experience specialist position. While we did initially have some strong candidates, none of them have worked out for various reasons. And we are now entering month 3 or 4 of recruiting. And with our other project work, we need some help. So we are looking to bring HR Source on board to help us with recruiting. We previously worked with them to fill Rachel Fisher's position, member services librarian for technical services. So I spoke with Jeannie and Joanna at the end of last week about whether or not we need approval from executive committee for this. And it sounds like practices are maybe different, maybe agency to agency. So this is an hourly contract, which based on their estimate could exceed my unbudgeted spend limit of $5,000. It could be up to like $7,700 if they end up on the high end of the hours that they might. So in our recruiting line is its own budget line under the personnel umbrella. We have $500 budgeted in recruiting. So clearly this is over our planned budget. Overall in personnel, we're well under budget. And so it sounds like in some agencies, you know, as long as that whole personnel bucket like is under, no big deal, you don't need approval. And in others, it sounds like, well, it has its own line, so we need approval. So we have our treasurer here. Sorry, I didn't give you a heads up on this. So we left it on the agenda for approval, and I guess a brief discussion on whether we want to check that as our. It doesn't come up very often, like maybe once every other year we have a spend that it's like, oh, I don't know, is this a thing I need to get approved? So do we need approval? And if yes, can we approve it?
Since it's on the agenda, why don't we just approve it? You know, can I just make a motion? I'll make a motion to contract with HR Source for recruiting services.
I'll second that. Smith.
Any discussion? Or do we feel comfortable to vote?
I feel comfortable with the information, and I think that Rebecca and her crew need some assistance. I think this is a good way forward.
Okay, great. So we have a first and a second. Beth, I'll ask you to call the roll, please.
Austin,
Yes.
Bertucci,
Yes.
Dorfman,
Yes.
Felix,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion.
Thank you. Okay, new and potential members update.
I still want to say we're in Newport every time. The Waukegan and Mount Prospect project is rolling along as planned. There's updates in your packet on that work if you have any questions. And then I am happy to report that I will be attending the March 18th Board of Trustees meeting at the Vernon Area Public Library. They are likely to pursue membership for 2025. So likely we'd expect a governing board vote in November of 2024. So as some of you may know, Vernon has a big construction project on the horizon. And so their internal calculus right now is, should we do the move to CCS before construction begins and give our patrons access to CCS stuff when things may be more limited in the library during the construction process, or wait a few years and, get construction out of the way and then move forward. And it sounds like the winds are blowing towards CCS sooner. So yeah, I'm excited to speak with their board and let you know how that goes. Any questions on new and potential members?
Okay, great. Innovative updates, is that Deborah or Rebecca?
Yeah, I'll give a quick update. That wasn't in your packet, so you may have seen an email to Live Admin yesterday, or seen it in CCS News the prior week. We'll be contracting with Innovative for our annual fine waive. That fine waive will take place the evening of Monday, April 1st. So on that date, any fine posted earlier than March 31st, 2017 will be waived. So if you're interested in sort of a pre-waive calculation for your library, you can reach out to me or email our help desk. I have sort of like pre-estimate totals for each library. And then again, we'll send those reports, the final reports out after the waive is completed on April 2nd.
And if I could just add here, Deborah and Mieko and the Innovative team are very wise, and with the new libraries coming in, are preemptively dropping these older fines, so they won't have to be included in a fine waive next year. Hopefully by this time next year, we'll be able to do that fine waive ourselves with new development and save a couple of bucks in Innovative services. So cleaning that up now is a great idea. Go team.
I have a quick question on that. How many libraries are still charging fines, and how many are you waiving for?
We only have one library that is presently still charging overdue fines. In the fine waive, I guess it's more accurate to call it a fee waive. So that is going to waive all fees over 7 years old.
Okay.
But yes, in previous years, the fine waive had two components. It was for libraries that were newly fine free, we would waive all of their overdue fees, and for all other libraries, we would waive fees 7 years or older. But now that we are pretty solidly in the fine free territory, aside from one library, we only waive the 7-year or older fees.
Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, great. Vinemore, Illinois.
Any updates on Vinemore aside from what was in the packet, but I'm happy to take any questions that the group might have. It's turning along, and the first library goes live May 7th. So thank you to Algonquin and Morton Grove for being our first takers on that. So we'll share additional updates kind of as we get a little bit closer.
That's exciting. Great. Okay. All right. Next up is reports. I just have a brief report just to chat about Rebecca's executive director, her annual review process. So in the packet, Rebecca did include the schedule of how her reviews have have gone down over the past couple years. I think we've discussed that things have been a little off schedule and that this year the goal was to really get Rebecca on a better schedule so that her increases are coming sooner and that her, review period is really a reflection of the previous 12 months instead of, having additional fiscal years kind of tacked on. So Rebecca, Jeannie, and I talked about this on Friday, just given that Jeannie will be leaving for Spain in July, right? Yeah, so how that would factor into this process. And we talked and decided to stay the course with the goal of maintaining this transition period and keeping Rebecca on a schedule as opposed to making this review cycle shorter and then extending the next review cycle even further. So really to commit to staying and keeping Rebecca on track during this transition period. So I don't know, Rebecca, if you have anything to add or anything I missed from our chat.
Just so Jeannie would have been, we usually have three
Thank you.
executive committee members kind of spearheading the review process, and that would have been Jeannie. So we will recruit someone else from executive committee on that. And so usually those are the folks who are opposite of nominating committee, the ones who are staying on. So it would be typically it's the past president. And then this year it would be Lindsay as the secretary and I don't know why this is, and I think we also included the president, and then this year we'll just want to include instead, I think our Becky, who will be staying on as the at-large member. So we can refine that as we get a little bit closer. But that's what we're thinking is we're just replacing Jeannie on that subcommittee with someone who is on executive committee this year and will stay next year.
I'm happy to help with that. That makes sense
Thanks,
to me.
Becky.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Any other comments or questions about that process?
So I'm off the hook with that one. Is that correct? You don't need me if you've got Becky, or is that?
No, we do still need you.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be like Joanna and you and Becky.
Becky.
Okay, great.
All right, great. Lindsay, any report, secretary's report?
No report, other than we have a policy, bylaws and policy committee meeting coming up, and after PLA, I'm blanking on the exact date, April,
Mid-April.
Yeah.
mid-April,
Not for much.
15th, I believe. I'm sorry.
It's like the 15th, maybe.
Yeah.
Great. Anthony, any treasurer's report?
No report. We're right on trend with where we were at the governing board last month.
Great. Okay, I'll believe we have an update from Heidi and the nominating committee.
Just to give you a heads up that it's coming soon. We're going to be working on the slate of officers for the following year, as well as the vacancy for past president that will be created with Jeannie's enviable move to Spain. So I know I have it on my to-do list to follow up with Rebecca about best practices to make sure I follow. This will be the second time I've been part of this nominating committee process, but just to make sure we check all the boxes. So it's really a heads up right now.
I think the goal is just to keep you on there forever, Heidi.
I will love to stay. So, but I don't want to be that guy who runs the nominating committee and then leaves with nominations for myself. So we'll be appropriate.
Great.
Any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Executive Director Rebecca, anything from your report?
Just if there are any questions, again, we're super excited that Kiara has started. She's been digging into training with various members of the team, and Deborah's got her ready to roll. She's already taken tickets, so we're delighted. Great. Sorry, we're in Newport that we stole her away.
Oh.
It's I'm not fair, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Any questions on anything in my report or not in my report?
Okay, hearing none. Anything else for the good of the order? Okay, quick meeting, guys. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Smith?
Okay, in a second. I'll second. Can I second? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I don't know.
all right, well, meeting adjourned at 10:19.
All right. Bye,
Thank you
everybody.
so much. Awesome meeting.